Welcome to Overseasoned.
It's only going to take one take.
I actually kicked him out of the restaurant.
Why?
Gotta bitch to someone.
Gotta bitch to somebody, and I'm good to bitch too.
I thought you were from Spain.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Sí soy.
Gotcha.
Soy chorizo.
Oh, no.
You've gone into Martha Stewart land.
It's good. It's just not live.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's like a scene from Cocoon. Like the sun goes down.
You don't want to get blacklisted.
You know what, Mr. President? Is this what you want? On today's episode of Overseasoned, we explore what kind of monster Tony Ayazi is.
What? Bring it. What's going on in that brain of yours?
So, just so everyone knows, we're taking the time to record at restaurants here in Bogotá, and we'll be doing it all over the place as part of an effort of Overseasoned television. You can see it on YouTube, and we'll be posting it also on Spotify as we visit restaurants, places.
We're posting the videos on Spotify?
Yeah, I saw the video on Spotify. I don't know how we
can
did
do that? Oh, wow.
It's because our guys know somebody.
I'm very quickly. I never thought I was a Luddite before, doing a tech company, but I'm quickly falling into that category.
It happens. Happens to everybody. So anyway, what I wanted to bring up was, after all these years knowing you, Tony, and all these experiences we've had going out to eat, and we've built some companies together, I never knew you were that guy.
Which guy? How did you not know this? I'm not sure
I
what you're
don't
talking
know.
about, but how did you not know after all this time?
Well, we were at a restaurant, and we were talking about chicken. And I almost never order chicken at a restaurant. But it turns out that that's your go-to?
I would say that it's usually between the chicken or the pork chop, if there is a pork chop on the menu. But it's kind of a toss-up. I'll get the chicken more times than not, for sure.
What?
I like a chicken.
What? I'm just shocked.
Why? It kind of depends on the style of restaurant, I would imagine, too.
You know what, bro?
But I'm not going to go to a steakhouse and get the chicken. I'm not going to be that guy. Or this fish.
I was going to say, because
If I go to a
we should go
steakhouse,
to
I'm
Le
getting a
Berne
steak.
then, and we're going to fucking order the chicken for you.
It's probably great.
Yeah, I bet it is great. But like,
I'm not going to go to a specific, like the steakhouse and get a chicken.
Okay.
I wouldn't go to a fish-centric restaurant to get the chicken, but if I'm at like a normal restaurant
okay.
that has the...
So at an everyday restaurant,
Yeah.
like okay, how about so let's say you're at a diner. I guess you said you would get some chicken on a salad, right?
I mean, that's an easy one.
That's an easy one. Okay.
The common one, I would say.
So what to you? Okay, let's say you were going to open a restaurant.
Are you just surprised that, you're a guy who goes to every restaurant and gets the steak every time, everywhere?
That's not true. I also get the tuna tartare every time. I also get the wings every time.
That's true.
I like to...
Chicken.
You know what it is for me? It's just that I feel like
It's been relegated to that boring dish on the
it
menu,
has.
but it's
Why
not.
do you think? Why do you think
Because
chicken
it's
has
that
gotten
thing that
such a
people
bad
think
rap?
they can just cook at home so easily. It's like, why would you spend the money on that cheap item that is a very common household staple,
Yeah.
right?
What's your favorite? So do you have like what's a chicken you could never say no to?
At home or in a restaurant?
In a restaurant. You go in a restaurant, you see a certain kind of chicken on a menu.
If it's like a wood-fired chicken, I'm going for it.
Okay.
I'm going for it.
Okay.
There was just a place that that's known for its chicken out on Shelter Island, out on the end of... Shelter Island is between the North Fork and the South Fork, the Hamptons, in Long Island, at the very end of Long Island.
Okay.
Called Lyon. They do a wood-fired chicken. I think it's like almost like it's kind of like they hang it. I got to get a better picture of this in my mind.
Okay.
Because I had it last year. I was looking forward to having it this year, but we didn't get to go because you have to take the ferry there. and it just adds some complication to the mix. But
Yeah, because then you're on that schedule and you got to figure out when to come back. And
then
blah, blah, blah.
a place that's not that far away ends up taking a little bit more time. But they're known for their wood-fired chicken, and you have to get there early enough because they run out.
Oh.
Because it takes some preparation. It's not like a cooked to order thing. It's like, all right, we've made 30 orders, cooked 15 chickens, you got 30 orders, and that's it. So you got to get there early enough to get it. Also, I think our reservation was a little bit later, and I was worried that we wouldn't be able to get the chicken. So I was like, what's the point?
Wait, but what's the point of going to that place if you can't even get the chicken?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Wait, I didn't go this time, but I'm looking forward to going upon our return. I will get that chicken this summer.
You will have.
I don't care if I have to go to 5:30.
The chicken at Lyon.
Yes, I'm going to get it.
Okay. It's interesting you bring this up because there are actually specifically two chickens. Now 3 chickens after I made such an outlandish and horrible statement about your audacity for ordering chicken where I have to get chicken.
I mean, dude.
There are 3 places.
If you forget, I have been to the Philippines with you where they serve fried chicken literally everywhere.
Yeah.
From the 7-Eleven to Starbucks.
Yeah.
And you get fried chicken every time you pass by one.
Listen, fried chicken
It's
isn't
in a class by
meal.
itself.
It's not a meal.
Okay.
Fried chicken is, let's call it, it's like I don't know, it's what is that? What do they call it in French when they put the words together? It's like
what?
It's like a dash. You know, it's like a man, I forget but it's a continuance. It's a mulligan. It's just a
little morsel.
It's a
just
snack.
A little, like a Levensies.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's 4th meal. So
Any time of day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, chicken and waffles. It's a little something. It's a little
I
something.
think chicken and waffles, I think that was invented.
I want to say in LA, but I don't know enough.
No, I think it was the jazz set that it was the turnover appropriately about diners. We were just speaking about it in our last episode.
Yeah.
Where it'd be so late in the day that they're kind of switching over from dinner in the night. So the jazz musicians would come into diners after
cool.
their sets. And the waffles were starting, the fried chicken was ending. So they'd have chicken and waffles kind of put together as that kind of, the end of late dinner service and the start of breakfast.
Yes. I mean, chicken and waffles it's fantastic.
Now it's become like a brunch staple.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly. Or even like any kind of Americana Southern inspired menu. A lot of
So
times.
I'm getting the picture that fried chicken lives in a place by itself.
It does.
All
It
right.
does. It's kind of yes. It's a category unto itself.
All right.
It is.
This is kind of,
Is it double talk?
it's double talk.
Whatever. I'm double talker. But so there's a few chickens I want to try. I want to see if you ever had any of these.
Okay.
So one of a future trip I'm really dying to take is to go to Burgundy. Because I've never really spent time in any French wine region. And
Really?
Yeah, I never have.
Wait, weren't you just in south of France?
Yeah, but it wasn't a wine region. It was for
I
a
thought every
wedding.
region in France was
I
something
guess
of a wine region.
it's true, but how about this?
It wasn't one of the top wine regions.
Champagne, Burgundy, Bordeaux. There's a couple regions that I'm just dying to go to, and specifically in Burgundy because I've fallen down quite a rabbit hole with Burgundy lately, and I want to see the
Making
place.
too much money. Falling down a hole of like Amarone next.
I've already fallen down that hole. Actually,
Tell me the story about Amarone.
Yeah, what?
Were you saying this on the show recently, or
What's that?
it's made to go with horse meat? Yeah, we
That's
did
right.
talk about that.
We talked about
Okay.
this, yes.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So anyway, I think. So obviously many things cooked in wine. Burgundy's so famous for their wine. Even the color itself, Burgundy.
Sure.
It's a reflection of the red Burgundy wine. And they make a lot of dishes like beef bourguignon, and another famous one is coq au vin. And I didn't realize that Burgundy was also where, and correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe we can look this up, the Bresse chicken is from. The Blackfoot chicken, like close to Dijon.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but when I was looking up what are the because aside from beef bourguignon and coq au vin, maybe like the snails in like Persillade, things like that. Burgundy's not really known for food. Like Lyon is really well known for food.
The Burgundy region of France.
But the Burgundy region of France, I guess, when I looked it up, it's like it's just known for wine things of food, right?
Burgundy added to
yes, and so that's what they're famous for. One of the things that came up was the poulet Bresse, and I was like,
well,
I've never had the Blackfoot or the Bluefoot chicken, or a black-skinned chicken, and I'm dying to try that.
Is that a French thing, the black-skinned chicken?
It's
silky chicken?
I think.
I thought it was an Asian thing. Wow, we got a lot of trivia to catch up on.
There's a lot to know about chicken.
Right.
But so our friend Cliff Edgar just opened another outpost of his restaurant in Dallas, well, just outside of Dallas, in one of the suburbs called Rowlett, and it's called Brick and Bones Backyard. And he has added a rotisserie chicken to his menu, in addition to his fried chicken.
And you're not going to go there?
Well, that's what. Look,
You said you weren't going to. Eat chicken
double talk X, okay? I'm going, and I'm going to have his chicken.
Can the chef make a little batter and just pop it in the fryer for me?
But they also have the fried chicken.
Oh, okay.
So they have it all. But so that's a chicken I must try soon. And I've always been dying to try Zuni Cafe's chicken.
Yeah, I've had that.
You have had that.
It comes with this is going back years, but let me see, like a bread salad. I think it's sure with bread salad.
With like arugula currants and stuff, right? Yes.
This is delicious as far as I remember.
Yeah. So what are some steps that you can take to ensure a chicken is delicious?
Oh, definitely brine it.
Okay.
Brine
your chicken. That's
brine
it?
Do it on the bone, right?
Keep it on the bone. But a lot of people don't appreciate things on bones.
Well, you can cut it off the bone to serve to the customer.
Oh, understood. But cook it while with the bone still intact.
And you can rest a chicken for an hour and a half after it's done, and it'll stay moist and hot. One of my jobs was taking chickens off the rotisserie. One of my very first jobs. It was we had a big rotisserie. I think we'd 6, 12, 18. We'd roast like 40 chickens a night there,
really?
Or something like that. And my job was to cut them and take off the string, cut them in half, get them ready.
Oh, interesting.
We'd cook them on the rotisserie. We'd put the seasoning mix on the day ahead. Put them on the spit. Start roasting them at 4, something like that, for dinner service, 4:30-ish.
Okay. How long? Do you remember how long they would take?
That's about 45 minutes.
Okay.
You kind of play with it by our rotisserie would have it was tall. It was a tall one.
Was it in the dining room or was it back in the kitchen?
It was in the kitchen, but you could see it from the dining room.
Okay.
So it was like part of the element of the open kitchen.
Yeah.
So you can kind of play with it because there's 5 burners as well.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of spits, and we kind of rotate the spits sometimes depending.
Okay, got it, because there's probably hot spots on certain parts of the rotisserie.
It's kind of a pain in the ass, but you try not to. But you try to just do it by turning on and off the...
up and down the different burners?
Yeah, but I'm not saying anything crazy, but you'd turn on the bottom 3 and then the top 3. It was like a timed kind of a thing.
Okay.
This was how you do it.
And you guys would rock off all the chickens at once?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not something you want to try to start getting into in the middle of service.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. It's like once the chicken are gone, they're gone. It's nothing you can do to order.
Understood.
So you got to kind of get you wouldn't do a full rotisserie set every night. You'd Mondays are 2 spits, Fridays are 10, right? So you kind of no, and hopefully you're not left with a bunch, because whatever's left over is chicken salad or staff meal or whatever.
Okay.
You're not going to reserve that rotisserie chicken the next day.
I have a burning question for you.
Burn away.
So I wondered if after you brine a chicken, and let's say you do cut all of the meat off the bone, and you're left with all the bones, can you make stock?
Probably be pretty salty.
Okay, so that's
I've
the
never
problem.
tried it, but it'd probably be pretty salty. I'm guessing.
Okay, so the actual bones left over from a rotisserie, since they've been brined, might be too much.
Well, you got
for a
some
stock.
meat. Yes. I'm going to say, I've never done it, but I'm going to guess yes. That would be too salty. Plus, you've already roasted. You're saying you
So
haven't cooked it, the chicken yet.
No, let's say the chicken's cooked, and you slice breast down.
So the bones are cooked too.
So the bones are cooked too. Yes.
I'd give it a shot,
Okay.
but
But there's no like rule against that. I
don't think it's something you're going to want to do.
no.
No.
Okay. Got it. And so when you go to a restaurant and you do get the chicken, do you ever get glances, like side-eyed glances from the servers?
No,
Or
they're generally happy.
are they?
Yeah, why not? They're proud of their product.
Okay.
It's not like, again, I think that if you're getting the salmon in a steakhouse, people are like, what?
Okay.
Or that random vegetarian dish at a steakhouse, that's like a throwaway, It's-
Okay.
Or the chicken at a steakhouse.
Yes.
Would you look sideways at somebody as in your server days at a steakhouse when somebody orders the chicken?
So there was only one. I want to say there was only one restaurant. I take it back. There was actually a couple really good chicken dishes.
Oh my gosh. We're doing a whole U-turn here.
I know you're right. Okay, this is all it took. It was just a deep glance into those baby blues, and then realizing what I had said was a complete fallacy, and that I should stop listening to the media.
So somebody, table of 6, steakhouse, one person says, I'll have the chicken. You're like, well, that's a wonderful order, sir.
Well, what I would think to myself in that situation
Cheapskate.
yeah, that I won't say that thought hasn't crossed my mind. But I think in most cases, my thought.
Better a chicken than a well-done filet?
No, I'd rather the well-done filet. At least there's going to be a little more money in the chicken. Honestly, my thought is probably bad in bed.
Probably what?
Probably not so good in the sack.
Gosh.
It's just like a chicken person. Now, I know you're great in the sack. I don't know this, but I would assume it, right? But it's just one of those things that it feels like a throwaway. It feels like a lunch order, not a dinner.
Gotcha.
It's not a night
out. At a
out.
steakhouse, I could see that.
But I'll say this. So we did have a dish. There's 2 great chicken dishes that I can remember that I would happily, I wish I could have back now, actually. One was at the Chop House. They did this awesome Mediterranean chicken. So they would flour a chicken, the Statler. Remember the Statlers? The airline chicken breasts? It's like the wing on, skin
Yeah, of
on
course,
chicken
I know
breast.
airlines,
Okay.
yeah.
So they would sear it off brown, but not cook through. Just sear it off. And then to order, they'd pick it up, and it was all beautiful, like
Crispy.
it was crispy, right? And then they would finish it in the pan with essentially like a white wine, Kalamata olive, tomato, leek, and artichoke white wine lemon like reduction. And it would just slowly cook into this white wine, and then they'd simply serve it on the like the whole chicken breast, pour the sauce on top, and it was crunchy and lemony and white winey, and it was fucking awesome. That was a fucking good dish. And the reason I knew it was a good dish is because nobody ordered it. They would prep 7 and sell 1, and it's inevitably what we all ate at the end of the night.
So that's how you
and
know,
we're like, this
yeah.
chicken is fucking banging. Now, I don't know, of course, if it were between porterhouses and Mediterranean chickens, I'm sure all of us would have rather had porterhouses.
I mean, you can't every day.
You can't every day. But yeah, so that was a great one. Another great one was an American Cut. So at American Cut, Mark Forgione's spot, they did this really nice. So I think they brined it. It was a brick chicken. So they would literally get a brick, wrap it in foil, do a super hard crispy sear on one side, bunch of fresh herbs, and I want to say it was like butter, bunch of shallots, like super crispy shallots, parsley.
Ooh, I've had that.
Capers.
Yeah, we've had that. I've had that.
That
think
was
we ate
a
it
great
at the
chicken.
bar
That's right. We actually had it at the bar at Forgione's
Yeah.
spot in Tribeca.
Yeah.
So there are definitely, of course, there are great chicken dishes. It's just one of those
Thank you.
things. I'm sorry, Tony.
That's kind of, I think it's an antiquated way of thinking, old man.
You're right.
You know?
And you know what? Maybe what we could do is maybe we could just finish off the episode with a couple other lies that happen way too often.
Okay.
All right. Lie number 2. I often hear chefs say, and people with
You're
television.
trying to balance the scales here, I feel a little bit from.
I'm back. Look,
your
I'm
mea
back.
culpa.
I'm back. I'm back, and I'm sorry. And you're right. And chicken's good. And if you cook it right, it's beautiful. And honestly, when you're at home, I love making bone-in chicken breasts with the skin on, and I'll cook them on the grill, bone side down, for like 75% of the cook. And then when it's like, the last, let's say 5 minutes, I'll flip them so they get crispy skinned. And it's a great way to cook chicken. They're so juicy, so delicious. So, okay.
I'm with you. I'm a chicken a week kind of guy, at least.
One chicken a week?
Yeah, except my mother-in-law is staying with us now.
Uh-huh.
And her husband grew up on a chicken farm.
And
So there is no chicken in the house during their time with us.
what?
You gotta like sneak it out. He can't.
He can't even see a chicken?
He'll tolerate turkey on Thanksgiving as long as he does not see
That's
a
a lot
bone.
of teas. Tolerate turkey on Thanksgiving.
He'll tolerate it as long as it's just the breast on a plate. He can't see any bones or skin, he doesn't want to see a joint on his plate.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel
He's a
about
very good eater otherwise, but
He is.
it's hard to not be able to just roast a chicken for 4
I know.
people. It's such an easy thing.
that. It's so delicious, too.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what I'm making if the next time I get invited over. So
My mother-in-law, however,
she likes chicken?
You put a few extra chicken wings out by the sink.
It's over. It's gone.
They evaporate.
I mean,
Understandable.
that's a woman I can get behind. You know what? My mom is the same. Is there a thing with moms and wings
Over the sink?
over the sink?
It's not a wing, but like the drumstick, like something easy
Yeah,
to
it's the best.
tear into. So I know how to be a good son-in-law. Leave a few by the sink, just like as if it was an accident.
You are a good son-in-law. So, but lie number 2 that I think needs to be dispelled right now is I often hear people say, if you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fucking line of shit I have ever heard in my life.
I think it's okay with white wines.
What do you-
okay. Understand in a restaurant, no
How about
one's
this?
like grabbing Burgundy to make.
Color Rossi Burgundy, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Boxes of it.
Boxes of
Boxes
it. Or
of
the
it.
big ass jugs.
Reductions and such. You might finish the sauce with a little bit of nicer white wine, but no, not in a restaurant setting, generally speaking.
Bro.
But at home, what else do you got? Do you buy wine for cooking?
Well, at home, all right, let's just say I had a dedicated dish that I was doing, like a beef bourguignon.
And you knew you were going to do it, and
And I knew I was going to do it, and I had to shop for it
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, that's different.
I'd buy the cheapest bottle of Beaujolais I could
Yeah, I
find.
agree.
Right?
Yeah.
The only time I'm ever cooking with quality wines is just because there's a bottle of wine that I'm not going to finish or didn't finish. Like, for example,
starting
right
to
now.
oxidize a little bit.
Yeah. Right now I have a bottle of Bourgogne Rouge that I didn't love. It was Toyota Beau 2021, right? And
Great, we're getting calls from them now.
well, look, it was good. It was fine. But, I'm turning into an elitist.
Yeah.
And I like the good shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I want at least, a nice little, some Village Gevry, right? to get through my evening, that hard evening I've had. So if I don't, if I'm not glugging my way through the evening, and I got a cup, let's say a quarter of a bottle left, I'll cork it, throw it in the fridge, and the next time I need a little pan sauce, or I'm gonna marinate chicken in some red wine before grilling it up, whatever the case may be, then that's the only time that advice rings true.
See, you only keep good stuff around the house. That's why.
I only keep good stuff around the house.
I can always find a bottle that somebody brought over to a party, right?
That's awesome. I feel like that's the most appropriate time to text your friends. You know what I mean? Like, thank you so much for this bottle of shitty Cabernet.
It's going to make it.
This is what I think of you. Actually, no. Maybe it's the opposite. I think so highly of this wine that I'm cooking with it. How's that? Doesn't that make you feel good?
I only cook with what I would drink.
Right. You know what? There it is. That's that to me is the ultimate thank you. Popping a bottle
you brought
of wine.
something? Put it over there on that shelf.
Yeah, put it on the shelf.
Yeah, next to the pots.
Yeah, exactly.
Next to the extra peppercorns.
The mélange. So, but that's a fucking lie, right? And I've never worked in a single restaurant that gave a fuck what the wine was.
I agree.
Never.
Whatever was cheapest and came in the largest box.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're going through such volume and quantity. How could you? Right?
Exactly.
And when you're reducing something down 95% of the way.
Right.
I mean, there's something to be said that the flavor is intensified to a point, but you're still getting
you're
that.
adding garlic and shit to it.
Yeah. Garlic,
Shallots.
peppercorns, caramelized carrots, the whole thing.
Yeah, bay
right?
leaves. Like, come on. So that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Lie number 3.
Wow.
Coming off the top of my head is that only the freshest fish should be going into sushi. Allow me to explain.
Okay. Where are you going with this one?
Okay. So many great sushi restaurants actually take the time to age the fish. Of course, they're doing it in, controlled environments, many times hot, dry environments.
And it's arriving frozen?
It may be arriving frozen. It may be arriving fresh.
Because a lot of the stuff is frozen on the ships, from what I understand.
That is true. But the longer...
So does it need time to kind of do
there's rigor mortis.
Sure.
Right? So as soon as you kill any animal or whatever, it usually will tense up.
This is bringing me back to, I remember a salesperson that came in one time and was showing us this frozen tuna.
Okay.
This was a long time ago, so
okay,
things have changed.
You're jogging the memory. Yeah.
Well, plus, technology's changed, what's available changes, all that kind of stuff from 20 years ago.
Sure.
And they were telling us that the fish will curl up because we would never buy frozen tuna otherwise, right? But they're saying put it in warm water and it's going to curl up because rigor mortis is actually hitting it after it defrosts because it's so fresh.
No.
It's frozen on the ship. It's frozen before rigor mortis can get to it.
It's so fresh that you can hear Poseidon sigh when you open the cryovac.
You think there's anything to that? Or is that just a shtick? I
don't know. That sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
Whoever that salesperson is, our number is 609. We would love to hire you at Shoebox.
Because I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, wow,
look at you.
Is that real? Is that real that fish would flex up? Is it just because it's half unfrozen, or is it because it's actually
can't imagine that.
Zombie tuna?
Maybe it is zombie tuna.
Perhaps.
Okay. What's another fallacy that any other fallacies?
Tell me about this aging. Is it aging or is it just?
Oh, so as an example, right? Dry aging tuna.
Okay, I get.
Right? You have like these complexity develops in the fish as a result of.
We're talking about like sushi.
Well, yeah, we're talking about high quality fish that in some cases you might be looking for a different texture. In some cases you might be looking for.
But not dried. I mean, dried, I understand.
No, not dried. It's not like the Mohama, like you ever have Mohama?
No.
It's like in southern Spain, It's tuna that they catch and essentially give the same treatment as like a lomo iberico or something. They'll like dry cure it.
I didn't know the name for it, but I've seen that.
Yeah. So it's not like that. It's just more like you get a whole loin in, and when it comes in, I know some chefs that might age it for a week, 10 days, 14 days in a temperature control.
Right.
I don't think it's in salt. They'll cut the outsides off, but what they're looking for is to develop complexity in the flavor, allow the the texture, some of the minerality, some of the fat, to spread throughout the meat a little bit differently. So it's very common practice to do with high quality tuna.
Okay.
So this idea that it's not like within 30 seconds on your plate is kind of a fallacy.
I gotcha. I could see.
There's.
It's not 3-day-old tuna that we're talking about. It's for a specific.
That's correct.
Intent.
Yes,
it's not correct. Just,
That's correct.
Been sitting around.
Yes, another fallacy that I at least have learned the hard way is that fresh shellfish, well, in this case, let's say fresh shrimp, are always better.
Oh, than frozen.
Yeah,
I'll typically get frozen shrimp.
Now, there, of course, are places in the world. Spain comes to mind just off the top because they're shrimp fucking fanatics.
They do everything the best there.
They really do.
It's Spain. You don't have to worry about anything.
I can't wait.
Just go shopping blind and throw it in my bag.
Yeah, go shopping blind. All you got to do is add a little Maldon salt and olive oil to it. It'll taste good. Yeah. I guarantee it. But I was always in the impression, like, for example, I would go to like the Samuels and Sons, the seafood purveyor, great peeps, great place. They have everything, right? And a couple times I got like the fresh head-on shrimp, but they always have, of course, frozen on the boat head-on shrimp, prawns or whatever. And a couple times when I had the head-on shrimp, the fresh ones, they would get a little bit, like the meat itself would lose texture. They weren't like a firm, like
seemed a little bit aged,
mealy, a touch mealy.
I've seen that,
and I come to find out that it's because there's a specific bacteria that in some cases infects the fish. It's not bad for you, won't kill you or anything, but it'll start to break down the fish.
Huh.
So as a result of that,
only in shrimp,
I think in shellfish in general.
Man, because I remember this has haunted me.
Okay,
this catering event we were doing in LA for some HBO after it was some big Academy Awards or something like that.
Yeah, for the Weinstein Group.
And we had to. We're cooking massive amounts of food.
Okay.
And I had the tilt skillet. You know, tilt skillet.
Yeah, for making stocks and whatever else.
Big square.
Yeah, why don't you explain a tilt skillet for the?
It's a big square flat top, basically with tall sides that you'd have a big crank on the side that you could pour something out with. So it wasn't a kettle.
It's almost like the size of a car, isn't it? Or
they can be different sizes, varying sizes, but it's different than a kettle in that it's not rounded on the bottom; it's flat on the bottom.
And what is the perfect use for the tilt skillet?
You could braise in it.
Okay.
Right.
How about if you're going to caramelize onions? Would you use something like that for that?
That many onions? Absolutely.
Okay.
It's like a big pan.
It's a big flat-bottomed top. I mean, flat-bottomed pan.
It's basically a flat top with sides.
And how deep are they usually?
I'm going to say
2 feet?
8 inches.
8 inches. Okay. So it's
I mean, you can get different.
Okay,
right?
okay, got it.
And there's a lid on it, so you can do all these things.
Okay, got it.
But I had to poach a bunch of shrimp.
For cocktail?
Yes.
Okay.
Made this whole court bouillon,
the whole thing.
The whole thing. I had to cook off, I don't know how many pounds of shrimp.
And court bouillon for the normies in the crowd.
That's lemons and olive oil, not olive oil, water, some salt in there, some lemons,
fresh
whatever
parsley.
other kind of aromatics you have. You just throw it in there. We're cooking like a shit ton. Right?
Yeah. It's things to flavor the water that you're cooking something in.
Correct. Thank you for extrapolating on that.
Sure.
Sometimes I glaze over the finer details.
Well, I mean, it comes second hand to you, and then after I've made the mistake of assuming that chicken's a throwaway order, I need to
redeem yourself.
I need to redeem. Go ahead. Yes.
So I made this whole court bouillon. I'm gonna guess I had to cook.
there must be, how big is this party? Hundreds of people?
Hundreds
of
and
people.
hundreds. It was a massive event. This
Okay.
huge courtyard, right? And it was like a poached shrimp cocktail something. It was a big, huge raw bar.
Okay.
It's coming back to me. And then to cook all these shrimp and made this court bouillon. I'm dropping the shrimp. I'm straightening them out. I'm doing the whole thing. I'm like, these are soft. Like, and I'm thinking I like undercook them. So I'd like take them out and I'd like cook them a little bit more, but they'd still be soft. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm in it now. It's 8:00 at night and the party's tomorrow morning. Right? So what are you going to do? Order another 400 pounds of shrimp to arrive?
What the fuck?
Right? You got to do it. So I'm like, kind of like, I didn't do anything wrong. Is this just how the shrimp are here? But this just clicked with me.
They must have been fresh shrimp.
Could have been. I mean, I got them.
But if you're not ordering from the same purveyor all the time, and they're like, "Oh,
I just showed up to do the party, so I wasn't there."
Oh, I see.
I just showed up as an extra set of hands to help out. So I'm like, did I fuck up all of these shrimp? Because it's like thousands of dollars worth of shrimp, but they were super soft like that.
Mealy.
Huh.
That must have been it.
What is the name of this?
I don't know.
We're gonna have to look that up.
Give me just a moment.
Man, you just made me feel so much better about this mistake I thought I made 25 years ago.
See, look, I started with a fucking uppercut, right?
It always comes out in the wash.
I had you on the ropes. I was trying to.
You redeemed yourself. Yeah.
But and then
this has been one of those nightmares I've had in the back of my head for a long time.
Bacteria in shrimp.
Watch, it doesn't exist now.
Mealy.
Does it affect? I've never experienced that before.
Okay. Why is my shrimp grainy? Raw. Okay. That's no. Okay. Vibrio is a bacteria found with 70 species of shrimp. And a study found that 55% of 299 test raw shrimp samples contained Vibrio.
So I'm wondering if the freezing kills it?
I think it makes it so that it does not. Oh, what is making my shrimp mushy? Here we go. Mushy.
I don't think I had a cell phone back then.
Because when you buy it frozen, muscle tissue in the meat crystallizes and expands. No,
I'm looking for something more magic than that.
Yeah.
To stop the nightmares. I don't want to know the truth right now. I'm satisfied with what has transpired.
I'm telling you, I think I read it in Eric Repair's book.
Even more validity.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, it was in the LeBurnin book, and I was shocked because he said that he would often buy brand new shrimp. I'm sorry, fresh shrimp, but that they started getting frozen because often when they had them overnighted, that it would get mealy, and it was because there's a natural bacteria that starts in some of the shrimp to break down its protein.
Interesting. Well,
so
thank you for that.
So look, I think in closing, we're going to. Now you can rest easy. I hope you have a great sleep tonight.
Thank you. I am.
The Tony
That's one of those kitchen like
nightmares.
Those anxiety dreams that you kind of have every once in a while.
Now it's gone. Now it's gone.
You have to fill 85 bowls of shrimp, and you think they're undercooked, but you're overcooking them to try to make them undercooked, and they're just getting softer in some weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how I think that there's only one way we can celebrate this.
Go out to a raw bar place today?
No. We're going to go to Le Bernardin, and we're going to order the chicken.
Oh, let's do it.
Sweet.
And the shrimp.
Thanks for listening to Overseasoned.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you. If you're currently driving down the highway, you should not do this. But if you are at home wondering what's next in your life, please join us on YouTube, join us on Spotify, like our posts if you think that they're likable.
Right.
Rate us.
Smash that like button.
Smash it like you would a fingerling that has been perfectly poached and you'd like to make crispy on a pan. And once a month, we'll be releasing some videos that are extra content. We're also working on some cool giveaways. So
Get ready.
in future podcasts.
Get ready. Get excited. Get hungry.
Yeah. Get hungry. Stay salty, my friends.